Well, here we are. Hello, hello, CNC brothers and sisters. It's another Wednesday evening hangout. I'm Garrett with IDC, of course, and next to me is my sister, Kate. Kate, say hi.
Hi, how are you all tonight? Good evening. I'm Kate Tucker with Women Who CNC. It's nice to be back for another lovely Wednesday evening. So thank you for hopping on. I see you guys all chatting in the comments tonight. You guys are having some fun conversations, if I will.
Yeah, we'll dig into that one in a little bit because I can answer some of those Jocko related questions here that
Oh my gosh, they are cracking me up with some of these comments tonight.
can you believe this weather that we're having, at least in this part of the country? It's middle of February. It should be right around freezing.
Yeah, maybe like 30, 40 degrees. And I think it was like 56 or something today, 57 here.
Yeah, insanely warm. It's been very nice. El Nino, thank you very, very much. So anyway, we are here on our Wednesday evening hangout, and the same crew and some others are hanging on, and we are going to answer CNC questions or what have you. Our sister Kate, she's going to just share the house rules and say hi to some of our people here. So go ahead, Kate, fire away.
Yeah, absolutely. So we always start our live off with congratulating the first person who was here. The first, and this week it was Mr. Mark Lindsay. So congratulations, Mark. He was here tagging in at 29 hours. So Mark, you were on top of it, sir. Very much on top of it.
So, a long time to hang out, man.
Yeah. So house rules are basically just be kind, be courteous. Miss Julianne is in the background. She is helping us star all of your questions. And speaking of questions, we have a 9 p.m. cutoff time. And of course, if we answer all of the questions and we still have time remaining, we will definitely answer those questions for you. But please make sure if you do have CNC related questions, put them in the comments for us. We will definitely try to get as many answered as possible. So with that being said, just be kind to one another. Please be kind in the comments and be thoughtful in your questions. So with that being said, you had a big week. You pushed out a bunch of content. You want to talk about that a little bit?
We'll catch up on that a little bit, but I just want to bring up Julianne. So just for those of you who are here, that's Julianne. She's running the show in the background, making sure everybody's staying straight and being nice, and then also checking all the questions and making sure Kate and I get to them. So yes. Julianne is the administrator for IDC Woodcraft. We are waiting on Liberty. I don't know if she's going to be in tonight, but if she is, she'll be in the background. She'll start talking to you. All right, Julianne, I'm going to back you up. So anyway, yeah, we've been hearing reading some very fun little comments here. Let's bring those up from Eric. How many M&Ms does it take to make a carving? Well, that gets quite technical, Eric, because first of all, it depends on the length of the carving. So if your carving is running in maybe 3 hours, like a nice 3D carve, then I think you're probably leaning towards 10 pound baggish level, I believe. What do you say, Kate?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends. Like I've seen in some of the comments, people were saying like 1 per minute. I don't know. I know I can definitely eat. If we're just talking standard M&Ms, I feel like we could definitely shovel in more than 1 per minute. Like that seems a little low to me.
Yeah. So I've seen another comment in there, as they're asking about like this one here from Jack, man. What's the feed rate for M&Ms? I mean, and some were saying 1 per minute, like you said, right? And someone else said, "Boy, you guys are lame." Let's find out how the feed rate of M&Ms here. And
feed rate of M&Ms, that's
about 5 seconds per minute. No, 5 seconds per bag. Put it that way.
Oh my gosh, I love it. That's hilarious. That's awesome. Yeah, 5 seconds per minute. Very impressive.
One bag for 5 seconds.
1 per minute is the pack rate. Oh, yes.
Halfway.
That's a new one. I guess we could replace chip load with our pack rate.
There you go.
shipload. No, it's for
There you
metal.
go. Yeah. Yeah. And then, old Mark, he says, 1 per minute. What a bunch of lightweights. There you go.
Right. I love it.
Yep. There's another one. What?
1 per minute. That better be a big M&M. Words of a recovering chocoholic. WXX, me and you. I feel you.
That's right.
I can definitely scarf down some M&Ms. So.
No, here's no one. Tonight's topic: the proper application of utilizing M&Ms in carvings. Take away, Garrett. Take it away. Well, we've been talking about it. Yeah. Now there are some issues though. It depends on like diabetics and stuff like that. So I don't know if there's M&M alternatives. We'll have to dig into that.
I don't know. That's an interesting thought. I do love some M&Ms though. You know, I think maybe at one point we should get like a big barrel of M&Ms, and how many packs does it take to fill the said barrel, and then maybe whoever wins that, we could ship that out. That could be a fun little,
that's contest.
Fun little contest. We like, okay, so let me clarify here. We have all the little bags that IDC sends out. How many of those does it take to fill a barrel? So I'm thinking, you know, because I have kids, so I am always buying things in bulk. And the one thing that my kids love consistently is those stupid orange crunchy Cheetos, and my Labrador, he loves them too. So, I mean, the barrel's like, you know, yay big. I don't know what yay big, you know, reference is, but I'm going to say maybe like a foot tall by, I don't know, maybe 24 inches diameter.
Yeah, we'll have to come up with something. I think we'll do that. I'm putting together a new router bit set. Give me the Pro set. It's going to have about 20 bits in it, and so that can be the giveaway. And Mark Lindsay has given us a challenge.
If nobody at IDC dresses like the plain and peanut M&M characters at Halloween this year, I'll seriously be disappointed. I love that, Mark.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. Julianne, make sure we find me an M&M outfit, and I will certainly dress up as an M&M for Halloween.
You know what? I have to share a really quick story. So when I was in high school, my boyfriend and I actually we did dress up as M&Ms for Halloween, and they actually have like the big gloves and everything, and it had pockets. I mean, y'all, this was like back in like 2002. So, or I think it was probably even before that. Might have been like 99 when we dressed up as like M&Ms, but it was so fun. I love them. They were hilarious. Right. But they're out there.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are getting off topic. Well, I guess not really. I mean, M&Ms are an icon, right? You buy something from IDC Woodcraft, then you get a bag of M&Ms. In every package. So, but yeah, that's the fun part of it. And then Liberty, she's out there writing notes and on the packages. We got some new products coming out, so she's getting a little antsy to kind of get those out the door, but we haven't even got them in the door yet. Oh, by the way, speaking of which, call to action. Julianne, do we have the link for the application in the description of the video? Will you put that into the comments? So last week I said that IDC Woodcraft is looking for product testers. I don't have the bandwidth to test the products anymore. I have to force myself to do it, but I have other things I need to do. So if we did get some people who applied last week, we haven't addressed it yet because we're waiting this week, and then I'm going to get through them Monday. But what we're looking for is someone who has ideally a pro level machine. That would be like the Phantom that's sitting over there to test router bits, particularly 1/2 inch, because we are getting some 1/2 inch tooling that's going to be coming in, and then some other tooling that's going to be 1/4 inch. And so in the description of the video, there will be applications. Are going to be in the description of the video, Julianne? Nod your head, yay or nay. Okay. Yeah. It'll be in the description of the video on the YouTube channel. And also, Julianne will put a link into the comments here. If you're interested in being a product tester, it is a paid position. It is, we will be paid by the job is the way it's going to work.
There you go.
Yep. So,
There you go.
so if you're interested, click that link and answer the questions. And we're going to be checking them on Monday. Tomorrow, I'm going to be out of town for the rest of the week, going on holiday. Me and Sarah are going to Kentucky. We're going to stay in a log cabin way in the middle of the woods and just be away from stuff.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that sounds absolutely amazing. I love the wilderness. The wilderness does not love me. I am deathly allergic to poison ivy. So the wintertime is really only a time I ever go
Gotcha.
out.
Oh, why don't you say hello to some people? We've been at this for 10 minutes.
Let's oh man, hold on. Let me get scrolled back up here.
Besides, I gotta eat some more M&Ms.
No. All right, so I am seeing we've got Mr. Johnny King. I just have to say I love your name. We've got Oz. He says Southeast Alabama checking in. Of course, we've got Miss Julianne, Mr. Mark Lindsay. Oh my gosh, Ellen, she's known as Madra. So hey, sister, how you doing? We've got Mr. Cherokee Vapor, Brian Neighbor. We've got Carolyn. Hey, sister, how you doing? Let's see. Let me do a little scrolling here, y'all. Okay, so I see we've got Billy McGee and Chris Gallagher all the way from Australia. Chris is one of our regulars. There's so many of you all that are regulars. So I just love, Chris, you'll have to put in the comments, what time is it in Australia? Because I know there is a significant time difference. So I just love that he shows up every week with this huge time gap. Let's see here. Okay, so I see we've got Darren.
Oh, Darren?
Yeah. Dennis. I don't know that I remember Dennis's name. He's saying hello from Arizona. Eric Gert, that we were talking with earlier about the M&Ms. Says he's checking in from South Detroit, but I think he's originally from Windsor, Ontario. So nice. All right, so we've got Metal Mangler. We've got Jen Salzman. She is checking in from Ontario. I love all of our people from Canada. That's so fun.
Yeah.
Of course, Jack in the shop, as always. We love having Jack here. Flash Gordon. I remember Flash. He says
it's been a while.
Yeah, he says he is checking in from sunny South Africa.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that's totally cool. Totally cool.
Yeah. South Africa. Awesome.
Yeah, I just want to chime in just for a second. So we have a question from someone on Facebook. And so if you're watching this on Facebook, you can interact with everybody in YouTube a lot better because there's a lot of people on the YouTube side. So you can either go to the IDC Woodcraft YouTube channel or the Women Who CNC YouTube channel. And there's a bunch of people there hanging out. Then you can chit chat with them. But we got a Facebook user question there, so we'll get to it.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready to rock and roll?
I'm ready to rock and roll if you are.
All right. So the first one comes from Johnny.
All right. This is from Mr. Johnny King. Ready to find out why a Fox Alien, which is all I can afford right now, is a bad idea when it works good for what it is. What do you say, Garrett? Or what?
Okay. All right. This probably has to do with a video that I put out not too long ago where I talked about some CNC machines that we sometimes want to think twice about. And one is like the smaller ones, the desktops, right? Number one, Johnny, first of all, I'm just partial to having large work areas because we get that flexibility. If for the smaller ones, the desktop units, there are good ones, there are bad ones. What I would say is sometimes the desktop units are good, right? For people who need to make small stuff. What I would say is just make sure you have good customer support. Get on the phone with them, talk to them. If you have good customer support and you feel comfortable with them, go to the Facebook group and ask them just read some of the comments, see if people are having trouble, if they're getting resolution. And if you see a common pattern of this and you can't get a hold of the company, or you don't feel like you're getting good support, then that should be your red flag. If they're there and they're taking care of you, then go for it. Right. Yeah. I mean, when I made that video, I said these smaller machines where you have small work areas, they can be limited, but for some, that's all they can afford. So it's,
and that's okay.
It is okay.
We have talked about this several times, and Johnny, I think Garrett and I will both commend you for taking the leap of faith and reaching out and looking into different CNC machines and bridging out into the community, because I will be really honest, it was a little bit of a journey for me too. I had to save up for my machine. It wasn't something that I just, had the extra dough laying around to buy. And as we all know, all CNCers know, it is not just the machine that you buy. It's also the dust collection. It's the investment in the bits. It's the investment in your education. There's a lot of moving pieces to learning the CNC. So if you have ideas, start with those and then start putting that money away. Whatever you make, put that back into an investment fund for you, so you can reinvest and then gradually upgrade your machine. I will say this. I don't know about the Fox Alien. I don't know much about it, but I do want to give you just a small little bit of insight. I'm Team Onefinity, so they're my big, I love them. The really nice thing about the Onefinity machines is you can actually start with a smaller machine, and then you can actually upgrade your machine as you need to grow. And all you need to do is to move your rails further apart. So you can start with like the woodworker, and then if you need to work up to the, I think the foreman, and then the journeyman, and basically the only thing that you're upgrading is your rail. And then if you want to add extra durability and things like that, you can add that third rail, which is called a stiffy rail. So I just want to encourage you, if that's something that you want to maybe grow into, instead of buying one or two different machines and kind of having to learn the entire system all over again, that might be something to look into. So I just always like to let people know that, that's a possibility. When I looked into the Onefinity, I didn't know that until I had already had one. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So they offer different upgrade packages for when you're ready to take that next, the next expansion.
Yeah, Long Mill does that too. It's nice that companies do that. So you can buy a Long Mill 30 by 12 and then upgrade to a 30 by 30, and they just sell you an expansion kit. So that's what Onefinity does. So it's very cool. So at the end of the day, sometimes we got to go with the smaller ones, the little ones, and just make sure you got good customer support, and just check with the Facebook community and just kind of get a feel. Just read posts and see if there's issues that kind of trend in there. Yeah,
I wholeheartedly agree. Reviews are reviews and actual people making comments, but make sure, I will say this, there's this little tricky nuance with reviews. Make sure that they're actually, the reviews that you're reading and like taking in and absorbing, make sure that they're actually reflecting the answers to the questions that you are looking for. If somebody's just being kind of a, little bit of a, I don't know, difficult individual to deal with, and they're just kind of spitfiring out, every little thing that's the problem, it may not necessarily be the machine that's the problem. It may be the person and just their frustrations that might be coming out in a different direction. So make sure that you're really looking into the reviews and that they're giving you what you need as far as accurate answers.
Yeah, here's an example. All right, JT. So my first machine was a Comgral. Never even heard of that. Absolutely no response from support. Nothing more frustrating than dumping some money out there and you don't. A CNC router is not, like Kate said, there's lots of moving parts. You have the design software, you have a control software, you have your router bits, you have the rigidity of the machine, a lot of little other factors. And so that's why it's good to just work on getting knowledge. I got the video, The Ultimate Buyer's Guide. All right, that tells you so many things about what you need to look for, the rigidity and the,
all the things. Yeah. And that's another big factor. I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of machines, they do have, like certain machines have web-based software that you have to pay a monthly fee for. So that might be something, that you don't necessarily want to have to add every single month, that extra expense, if that's not what you're looking for. So you may want to look for a machine maybe where you can get extra support. Like Garrett and I, huge advocates of Vectric. Yes, it is more expensive, but if you look on YouTube, there are countless teachers, Garrett, myself, Mark Lindsay. There are countless of teachers that are very fluent in speaking the Vectric language. And if you're using a software that's maybe not near as popular, that might add to your frustration on the CNC journey, because you can't get the support that you need within the even software to run the CNC. So,
Mark and I have mentioned this. I mean, we think Jack should be getting out there making videos. Jack in the shop, man. This guy's he's like a whiz. Here's something else. Mark said, be wary of a company who wants to charge you for support. This is something I didn't think about. It's a question to be asked in the company.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's why Kate and I do this on Wednesdays, to especially, the fun of the best thing we like to see is hear someone going, hey, I'm new to this game and I'm here, and that's the best place you can be, because look at all the dialogue that's going on in the comments, right? You get a feel of the community and how helpful everybody is.
100%. All right, well, Johnny, we wish you the best of luck on your new CNC journey, and stay with us on these Wednesday Night Lives, and hopefully, you can let us know what you decided to purchase and how we can support you in the future. So, all right. So up next, it looks like we have Lyle. I had a question about rotating a 3D project when it imports upside down and backwards. Okay. Well,
I haven't messed with 3D that much to do that. But isn't that where you can select the angle that it comes in?
I don't know if it comes in differently in Aspire. I have VCarve Pro. I don't have Aspire yet. It's on my list of things to upgrade to this year. But as far as rotating the project when it imports upside down and backwards, that might be something, Lyle, I don't know where you bought the file, but maybe you can reach out to the designer and say, hey, what's going on here? The other thing you might be able to do is when you're on the modeling tab, so you have your drawing tab, your modeling tab on the left-hand side, and you're on the import, and you're importing it, and that like menu pops up, and you have all of your different degrees of pulling it in. I see he's got VCarve Pro. There's different options to be able to rotate and look, and I'm not sure if there's
I'm looking to see if I have any. I know I got 3D models, but I'm not quite sure where I got them at. And I can import one. I think I know what he's talking about. When you import one and you get the first screen and it's got the where you can tell it the different orientations that you want to import.
You got it. Absolutely. All right.
I'll be looking. Go ahead, Kate, to handle the next question. I'll see if I can find that 3D model I got.
Yeah, sure. All right. So we've got a puppy. Rips Run. Any hints or links for Aspire with a laser mod and JTech laser? Trying to make it jive with Mach 3. Thanks. As far as Aspire and Vectric with the laser modules, I have two JTech lasers. I have the 7-watt and the 24-watt. And you can either use two different options. Vectric does have their laser module that you can use, and that will work with that. And it should work fine with the Mach 3. But there is also Lightburn, and I know that will work with Mach 3 as well. Lightburn, about a year, is about $60. Actually, I'm not even sure. Yes, I think it is. I think it is per year for the for the entire license. But Lightburn has a plethora of videos out on YouTube on how to use it. It's very user-friendly. It has a ton of buttons that you kind of need to learn. But once you learn the basic functions of how it works, it's very easy to work with. So if anybody else has any other things, if you're working with Mach 3 and you want to help out Rip's Run, I think that would be great. Let's see. Are you having any luck, Garrett?
Yeah, I did find it. So
Okay.
there was one that let's bring it up. Very cool model I had gotten.
Ooh, I love this.
Yeah, yes, awesome model. I carved it. It's about 24 inches wide. I want to do a 3-foot one or 3.5 foot. So anyway, if it's coming in backwards and upside down, this when you do an import of a 3D model, and you're going to come to this screen here where it says import 3D model transform, and you have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buttons, and you can select those buttons to reorient the model how you want it to show up. And so right now I've turned it upside down. If I post an import, let's see, and then I import it, and it's going to come in upside down in the project. And because of the project size, that's why it came in funny like that. But that's about the extent that I can answer that one. It's what I saw Mark commented on that, and he said right at the top, that's the one.
Good. Okay, awesome. Let's take a look at the next question here. So we have Dale Brown. He says, Garrett, what is the largest router that you would feel comfortable on Evolution 4?
So the Evolution 4 is a Bob CNC. They give you the option of, I believe, the Makita trim router. You can't go any bigger than that. The machine it doesn't have the strength to hold anything heavier.
Okay.
One thing I will advise you on, since that was my very first machine, and when you assemble that onto it's got the rails and the rollers on the rails, and the rollers are kind of half moon shaped like that, but just about that much, and they got the rails that it's sitting on. Those rollers need to be clamped down almost tight on those rails. You can't have any play in those rollers at all. If you grab them by your hand and you can turn it, then you need to tighten them a little bit more.
Okay.
That was a machine I had a lot of learning on.
Yeah, those are our first machines. Unfortunately, get a little bit more abuse than some others. So, all right. So it looks like we have a question here from Lyndon. Question: I have a 24x48 digital wood carver in Vectric software. How can I run it manually without a file installed? Well, I'm not really sure what you're looking to achieve when you're looking to run it manually. I don't know. There's a lot to this. There's a lot more under.
The way I'm interpreting this question is jogging the machine around.
Well, that's what I would suggest, but I don't know what exactly he's trying to achieve, or if you're trying to carve something, like you're trying to do something like a plunge router, and how fast you would need to be moving. I'm not sure what type of bit you're using, but essentially you're right. You just literally just jog the machine around, and that's how that would work.
Yeah. So there should be some controls on there in some way, shape, or form where you can actually push a button. You can move it in the X plus, X minus, Y plus, Y minus, Z plus, Z minus. And you want to look for jog. That's but if we're not going in the right direction in this answer, then clarify that, and Julianne will make sure she stars that for us.
Yeah. The other person I was going to recommend in the community, his name is Laney Shaughnessy, and he has a YouTube platform. It's called Spindle TV, and he actually is a rep for Digital Woodcarver over on his channel. So he's very active within the community. He does all kinds of different things. So you could personally or reach out to him maybe via email or something in one of his description of his videos and talk to him about doing that.
There you
I
go.
think he would even be a really cool person to have on here, just because he is so active in the community. I even see a lot of members on the lives. People that show up here are also showing up on Laney's channel. So it's kind of cool to, it'd be kind of cool to have him as a guest.
Okay, what's his name? Julianne will write him down.
Yeah, it's
Where'd you get it,
Laney,
Julianne?
Laney, and then Shaughnessy. It's a long last name, but his YouTube channel, I believe it's Spindle TV, but he also has another component that he's been working on. But I think that's still like the primary channel that he's working on.
Okay,
So,
I'm looking at what machine that is. So, okay.
yeah. But he might be able to help you if we're not going in the direction that we need to help you answer that.
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures. I can't really tell how that, if it's got a pendant or what.
Yeah, it's hard to see.
Okay. Oh, by the way, you were talking about router. You mentioned something about router bits, and I wanted to throw a question out to the community. We did this before. We're going to ask again.
Yeah.
So as IDC Woodcraft expands its product line, I want to make sure that we expand based on what you want. So we've had people ask for 1/2-inch tooling, which we were starting to work on. Julianne, the girls mentioned today, both Liberty and Julianne, said there's dovetail bits people have been asking about. I'm looking at bits that will carve granite too. I'm kind of curious if people are interested in that one. I don't think I don't know. I've never messed with that. But what I'm asking for you to put in the comments is what kind of things would you like to see us inventory?
Yeah.
What tooling? What accessories?
Absolutely. I think that that's a great idea, because listening to the community is, where it's at. So,
yeah. Well, that's how the badger came about.
Yeah.
Release the hog. That bit can't stay on the shelves. Release the beast. That bit can't stay on the shelves. And everybody's asking, do you have a 1/8 beast? Well, not yet, but we made it happen because I got so many questions regarding that. I do have a couple new products coming out. We don't have them yet, but those who are on the CNC Insiders list, which was the email list for IDC Woodcraft, when we release products, if you're on that list, we send out you an email when they come in, and they get a special discount.
Yeah, very cool.
And I got to tell you, I'm loving the spindle, buddy. I'm loving the spindle. You turn that thing on and it's so quiet. And the spindles do make noise when they're carving. It's just the tool cutting the wood. But boy, you turn it on and it's like, wait, is that thing turned on?
I love it. That's how I feel about that new router sled that I've been playing with a little bit here and there. It's been the Milwaukee 3/4 horse router. It just purrs. It's so nice versus, even listening to like this Makita, I'm like, God, this thing is loud. And that thing is like 3 times as what this one is. And it's just like, it just purrs. It's so nice.
Wild.
Yeah. All right. Well, are you ready to tackle a few more questions?
Yes, let's hammer them.
All right. So we have Mr. Ralph here wanting to cut a slot around the outside of a part. Is there an easy way? Okay. Well, Ralph, I think you're going to need to elaborate a little bit for us. As far as cutting out a part, the easiest tool path that you would want to use if you're looking to cut it out would be a profile. Because that's basically just going to trace the outside of whatever you're wanting to do, and then cutting a slot around the outside.
Another take on this might be if he's looking to, I wish I had that project here. I'll just use this, right? If he's
sure.
That's the clipboard that holds the check sheet. CNC setup checklist. But let's just say that this, let me hold that right. This is the profile, right? The whole part that is, and maybe he wants to do a just like a pocket, a slot, like a border type of slot.
Okay.
So it'd be a profile inside the cutout. That could possibly be it.
Let's see. He says, with my machine and not a router, tried a profile and cuts a ledge instead. Okay, so with that being said, I think you need to adjust in the profile settings. You can cut either outside, in, or on. I can't remember what the order is, but you need to adjust your parameters of where you want the tooling to cut. So if you're cutting a ledge on the outside, then you probably need to move your line inside and run that preview. And if you don't like that, then change it to on the line, and you can use that.
Here's another thought that might help. If not, then we can learn something. It's about offsets. So we're going to bring up. Let's bring up this project here.
Oh, he said tried all of those. Okay.
You tried offsets?
No, he tried all of the on, off, or outside, inside, on.
Okay, so we got this. By the way, what this is, Liberty, I'm going to be out of town for a couple of days. Liberty says she's going to dominate my machine and make a bunch of nameplates. So they're going to shoot a bunch of shorts to do that. So that's kind of an interesting font there. But let's I'm going to delete that. And so I'm going to make a rectangle that's just going to
well, hey, you stop sharing.
Oh, shoot. Darn it.
I'm like, I think he thinks he's still in Vectric. We saw it for like a hot second and then it dropped off.
I probably went right down and hit the button. Okay, so I got this rectangle here. Let me undo so you see exactly what I was doing before. What the heck was that? Okay, Control Z. There we go. So you had that project right there. Liberty was carving that today, and she's going to be carving a bunch of names. So if you want your name carved and you want it on a short, then put it in the comments what name she should be carving.
Nice.
So we got a bunch of strips. We're going to do it, and then your name will be in the shorts. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of Robert, and I'm going to create a rectangle. Since he said he tried all that, I'm not sure if he's going to try offsets, but we're going to teach you offsets real quick. So I've got a rectangle that's around this, that's on this boundary. You know what? Let's put that rectangle in so you can see it. Okay, so there's the rectangle. And let's just pretend that rectangle is your cutout of your part and you want to do a little slot on the inside. You can select that line, and down in offset and layout, the very first icon in the Vectric software at the bottom, it says offset. And you select that, and then you have an option of outside, inside, or on both. We're going to click inside, and what that's going to do is going to offset. It's going to copy the current line by a certain amount, and it's going to make a smaller copy inside the current box. So right now it's I'm going to change that offset amount by 0.5 and click offset, and now we've created a new line, and it parallels everything here, and then you can create a toolpath on that line to create your slot. So I'm assuming that's maybe one of the things he's talking about.
He says, what I'm trying to cut is a slot for an inlay piece. Okay, then you are going to need to use the inlay tools within Vectric. Do you want to pull Vectric back up and you can show him the toolpaths that you will need to use? Garrett has a really great video about inlays as well. So if you also want to check that out, that would probably be beneficial to you.
Yeah, I have not used the inlay toolpath.
Okay.
So I'd be going into that blind.
Yeah, I know. Mark, if you have a video on inlays, if you want to drop that in the comments for Ralph to check out, I'm sure he would greatly appreciate that. There are lots of really good videos about inlays. And I won't lie, I'm even a little nervous. I actually took on a custom job. Garrett and I talked about, my business and the way I wanted to drive Women Who CNC this year. And we talked about not taking every job that comes my way, which has been really beneficial for me and my business. It allowed me to kind of hone in on my focus. But with that being said, I'm going to pause that thought for one moment. So Ralph says, I offset it half tool diameter and then I come back in by 1/4 inch. Sorry, I'm not communicating what I mean. That's okay. YouTube is kind of limiting on how many characters we can put in. So Ralph, that's okay, brother.
Yeah. Mark said the inlay tool path is for straight inlays.
Straight-sided inlays.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the unfortunately we're not getting the picture in our head to be able to elaborate on that better.
Okay. Mark said, I do not have a wood inlay video yet. I'm hoping to do it this year. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Ralph, okay, so here's my next solution. We always say to pivot in the CNC community because there are lots of things that can kind of go wrong. So we learn to pivot and change. So Ralph, my next solution for you would be to maybe take a picture of your project, very in detail, describe what you're trying to do, and maybe put that out into one of the groups. There's like Vectric, Aspire, 3D. There's the Make that's run by Bull Shanigan. If you are, I don't know what type of machine you have, but maybe put that out, a post out in the groups on Facebook that you could be looking for your CNC. There are lots of resources. There's, different forums, platforms, places where you can post questions like that. So by all means.
Yeah. What about one-on-one with you, Kate? Are you currently able to do one-on-ones?
Yeah.
Okay. So in the description of the video is a link to Kate, or you can schedule a one-on-one with her. And when you're doing that, then she can get a much better picture because you will be in a Zoom call and she can see exactly what you're doing. And the thing with one-on-one, you spend an hour with someone who understands it like Kate does, then you'll not just get your question answered, but you will get many questions answered in that hour. Kate's exceptionally good with the Vectric software. So if you want get some master help, she's the one to go to.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah. Well, I will circle back to my comment about the projects that we're taking on. And so, Ralph, I'm going to kind of be a little bit, I won't say in the trenches with you, but as far as doing inlays, I actually have a really unique opportunity to make a really cool outdoor sign. And I'm going to be using HDPE. I'm going to be using like a gold, sparkly, glittery acrylic. I've had to come up with like figuring out how we're going to be putting, how to attach the acrylic to the HDPE because it does not bond well with just anything. So there's special types of cements and things that you can use. And then we're also going to be, drilling into the HDP as well to add some support that's going to attach it to the bracket up top. It's a very involved process. So it's going to be a really cool video and just process of how to create unique signs with different materials, not your average materials, and really how to change the game on what you're doing. It doesn't always just have to be wood. You can incorporate several different things into your projects.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm eating some M&Ms. I can tell you the feed rate of M&Ms now. So the feed rate is about 1 every 10 seconds.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome. All right. Well, I will say, so I want to bring up a quick thing. Garrett and I kind of talked a little bit about before the show, and I don't know if any of you caught on. He asked if I was going to be available to do one-on-ones. And the reason he asked that was because it's a little bit of a subject that's near and dear to my heart, very near and dear to my heart. It's actually concerning my son, and he's 14 years old. His name is Lucas. And here recently, we noticed that he was having some difficulty with certain things. And we went to see his pediatrician, and basically what has happened is there have been some changes in how his rib cage and how his sternum and his body are developing now that he's a very athletic kid. And so what he has happening is basically his rib cage is forming in a way that is affecting his heart, and it's affecting his lungs and his spine. And so we are going to Riley Hospital here in Indianapolis. They're a wonderful group of doctors, and I'm sure many of you know them. But we are going to see a cardiac specialist, a surgeon, on next Thursday. So I may or may not be here next Wednesday. I just kind of want to let you guys know. I've talked to Garrett. I may be stepping away a little bit from my CNC and just the space, because I feel like he's my priority, and that's going to be a very large surgery. And so they have talked about, I'm just kind of getting kind of hot. So I'm trying not to get a little too involved here, but basically what they would have to do is basically break away the parts of his rib cage that are damaging his heart and his lungs. And then they would basically have to replace some of that with alternative, plating, things like that. So there's just a lot happening in my world right now. So I just kind of want to apologize in advance. This has been, it's been a lot. It's been very, very heavy. So I love you guys. I know that you always show up for me, and you're always so kind and generous, but I just want you to know that if you notice my absence on social media, if you notice my absence here, I don't want you to think that I'm not showing up for you. I've just, my heart is literally being held outside my body currently. So that's where we're at. So I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. So there you go. That's where we're at. I'm a mom, so I'm doing my best to hold my shit together right now, if you will, because it's a little challenging. But so I need a drink.
You're getting a lot of love in the comments.
Well, thank you. I was focused on the questions, so I didn't even get to look at that. But thank you for that. I will definitely have to go back and read all of the comments. So,
Oz is sending prayers to you. Dan, Kate, look on the bright side. You lived in a time and place or medical intervention, something, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I have very, 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 very grateful for the opportunity to have such wonderful doctors. His pediatrician is actually a Riley doctor and had another child that was very similar to this. So it's a very rare genetic disorder. We've never had anything like this in our family as far as my parents and my grandparents can remember. So, I don't know, but we're just I'm a good Christian woman, so I'm going to put all my faith in God, and I know he's got this, and I know he will provide for us. So,
yeah.
But yeah. All right. Well, now that cat is out of the bag, I would like to just keep moving on with what we've got to do because,
Yep. Just next week, we are expecting to be on. I am traveling Wednesday, going down to the Workbench Con. I told Julianne to make sure to schedule me so that I can be in a hotel room before the live. So,
there you go.
Yep. And Adam, the IDC videographer, is going to go with me.
Cool.
I plan on doing interviews with the influencers that are showing up there. So that'll be kind of fun.
Yeah, that'll be really fun. So what is it? I'm sorry, I missed it. Did you say I know you said you were going out of town, but is that Workbench Con? Is that week?
Yeah, that's next week.
Okay. If I remember correctly, I think when you were at Workbench Con that one week, you were.
I wasn't at the Workbench Con before. That That was the AWFS.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah, but I think I still showed up. I think, didn't I?
Yeah. Mm, I think
From the
so. Yeah.
hotel, probably from the hotel room. Probably.
Yeah. I think so.
All right. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
You got a ton of love going on there, Kate.
Well, thank you. I love that. Thank you all. I appreciate that very much, and I will share that with Lucas as well, because I know he loves seeing all the shout outs for him. So I will pass that on. All right. So we have an awesome question here from Eric Nelson. He says, "Good evening with VCurve Pro, and I use a bitmap. I will need to do some node editing. Then I will use curve fit and select Bezier curves. Then the vector will reduce the amount of nodes dramatically. Yep, I previewed and press OK. However, when I go back to the vector, it seems like all the original nodes are back." Well,
so we have to click preview on that, right? To see that, and then we have to click apply.
yes.
So I'm going to say that maybe not clicking apply.
No, actually, you have to hit. So you hit preview, and then you hit OK, and it should maintain its things here.
I'm going to do it right now.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Okay, preview. You're right. You click preview and click OK.
Yeah.
And
so Eric, what it could be is that if you think maybe that there is a lot of nodes, especially, I'm not sure what exactly you're using on what you're trying to use on the curve fit tool. Here, Garrett, if you don't mind, let me see if I can pull mine up.
While you're doing that, I got to get some more M&Ms. I ran out. My feed rate has gone down to 0.
Oh my gosh. You're a mess. Yeah. Let me
share away.
All right. Let me see here. So let me see if I can pull up a share screen. Julianne, will you hide that comment for me, please? And thank you. All right. So let me go ahead and do a share screen here. Okay. So if you have, this is actually the custom sign that I am making. So you can notice if I zoom in, let me hide this over here. There are several points at where the curve is coming in here. Now, obviously, this is something I'm still working on because there needs to be a point here, but this looks like quite a few nodes. But if I use my curve fit tool here, and then I have my Bezier selected, I just have a super small tolerance, and I can do preview, and then I hit OK. Yes, you can still see the nodes there. And then if I exit out of that, and then my vector is still selected, so I will hit N, you can still see all of the nodes. I think this is maybe what you're seeing, but what maybe makes it look a little bit more busy than what it really is you're actually seeing the handles. And that, I believe, is probably what is making it look a little bit more busy than it actually is, because these nodes here, these blue nodes, are your Bezier curves, and so they each have a handle located on them, which is what I believe you're seeing for extra nodes. So I hope that is maybe what you're seeing.
Yeah, Mark said something that I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah. What's he got?
So could be the curve fit tool isn't reducing because there isn't any more nodes to reduce.
That is a very valid point too.
Without losing whatever, but I don't know.
Yeah, because usually with what we just saw on my screen with the Bezier tool, you're usually working with some type of a curve, and that's why I was saying it may look like it's going back to its original count, because when the curve fit tool, you're not getting to see that the two handles to be able to adjust the node. And so I feel like that's probably what he's seeing more often than not.
Okay. let's do a couple announcements real quick. Kate, why don't you talk about Women Who CNC?
Yeah. So over on Facebook, we have a really great collaborative group of women who are on all walks of life, brand new, all the way up until super advanced. We have some really cool women doing a lot of really unique things. The group is for women only. It's just a really cool, safe space for women to ask a lot of questions and, be bold and not have to be afraid because there's just no judgment. It's actually, I love that I get to embrace certain women because I found a new creator on Instagram. She's really super cool, and she was watching. It was a really cute Instagram reel where she was messing with the Onefinity, and her husband or boyfriend was sitting in the background. He was like, "What on earth is she doing?" And she was messing with it and figuring it out. And I sent her a DM, and I said, "Hey, come check out our group. I think you'd be a great fit." And she said, "Oh my," and like literally her response was, "Oh my God, this is such a godsend," with like 10 exclamation points. And she said, this is going to be so much better than all of the public forums where people are just not nice some days. I hate to say that out loud, but I mean, everybody has to start somewhere. And a lot of people are just not humble enough to remember that they struggled too. And they tend to be those know-it-alls. And so when a newbie asks a question, it can just be really intimidating and kind of you can feel your self-esteem just take a little bit of a hit. And for women, I feel like we're just, can be more sensitive beings, which is totally fine. It's human nature. We all are sensitive people. But it's a really cool space for women to hang out. So if you want to, come join us over on Facebook and look up Women Who CNC. We'd love to have you. If you don't want to look it up, there's a link in the description. So there you go.
All right. On our end, first of all, just a reminder that IDC is always looking to expand its product line.
Mm-hmm.
And so if there's something you want to see us stock, then put it in the comments. And what we will do is we will take stock of what has been put out there. And basically the way I go by demand. So if I see a lot of things come up like dovetail bits, then that's what I'm going to start focusing on. And so that's one thing. And also, because we're expanding the inventory, we're going up to 1/2-inch tooling, I need product testers. So I will pay people by the job to test router bits and return that data. And Julianne will manage that, and I'll deal with that. And so if you're interested in being a product tester for IDC Woodcraft, then what we do is we would give you 2 or 3 bits depending on what it is, and you drive it till you break it. Basically, you want to get optimal feed rates, plunge rates, and whatnot, and different materials. So that we have an application for that, and Julianne will put that into the comments. So if you're interested, go ahead and do that and fill out the application. What else do I got? Oh, I got to eat another M&M. I'm like going slow.
Your feed rate is lacking.
Yeah, my feed rate is slacking. And Mark made a comment there. Mark, Kate and I are both grateful to have you on board and showing up because you know so much and you know a lot more than what I do. You've been at it for much longer. So,
oh no,
yeah, couldn't do it without you.
We're good partners, and we bring our own values and own contributions to the table. That's what makes this community so unique.
Yep. And so we're at the top of the hour, 9 o'clock for us, which means if you got a question, get it in the next minute because this is when we stop. We got about 23 questions on the ticket right now, so I guess we better get rocking and rolling.
Yeah. All right. Let's knock this out. All right. So Jen has a question in VCarve Pro. When doing a pocket setup as a raster in a last pass for the profile pass, is there a way you have it only to do the last pass on the final depth instead of each level? So yes, Jen, there is. You can do your you can use your start depth in your pocketing toolpath, or not pocketing, in your profile tool. Yeah, your profile toolpath is the second one you're doing. So use your start depth, whatever that is. Let's say you milled down to 0.75, and then your very last pass is going to be, you know, 0.02. You could go down to the start depth of 0.75, and then I believe you can just select to do a last pass in the profile. Let me take a peek really quick.
So what I think what so if she's saying she has multiple passes, right? Because she's going like she wants to go a half inch and her pass depth is half inch or quarter inch.
Mm-hmm.
So she got two step down, so she's doing all clearing, and then another step down doing all the clearing.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want, if she's using the last pass feature in profile, she doesn't want to use it on the first one. She just wants to use it on the second one.
So, see, I kind of feel like, hold on, let me look here.
While she's doing that, Butch Dunaway asked if I have a feed and speeds for aluminum. No, I do not.
Okay, so let me do a quick share here. Oops, hold on. Okay.
Did you hear that? Did you? Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're fine. So Jen, what you can do is, so your cut depth is going to be 1 inch. If you want to come to your edit passes, I mean, like we always say, there's lots of different ways to do things. But you could come to your edit passes here and then do select last pass thickness. You could add that extra 0.02, hit your apply, and then come down here to where it says the number of passes that you're going to be taking. And you could make that your just one pass, where so basically the bit would plunge down that far if that's what you're wanting to do. That's why I said I personally would not do it that way if if you have,
that's what you're doing.
yeah. So there's a couple. That's why I'm saying, like, if you know you're going to take an extra, if you want to go back in and do a true cleanup pass, because here's how I look at this: is you have a couple of different options. If you are using something like, let's say, like the hogging bit, the hog, the beast, something like that, you may have those what we would call witness marks on the side of the wood. So if you want to use the start depth of the let's say, like I said, the thickness was 3/4 of an inch, you could come in with your start depth of 0.75 and then do the actual cut depth of 0.02, and then that way that would get a full profile pass all the way around the project, and then you can clean up those witness marks. So there's a couple different ways to go about doing that. What do you think from
what
what
I would normally do on that, because I never took it that deep, was I would just create a new tool path. I would just do the raster and then or the offset, and then do the last pass as a separate tool path.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. She says that's not quite it, Kate, but that's okay. It's to clean up the walls in the raster pocket, not the bottom. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're doing the raster, it's going back and forth, and sometimes when that bit hits the wood, depending on if the wood is a soft wood or not, you kind of get those like indentions.
You get the little ridges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jen, yeah. What I do is just create a separate tool path as a profile and make sure the profile is set inside the line.
Mm-hmm.
And I would use a spiral toolpath as well, or a spiral ramp on a profile.
Okay. I guess I really hadn't thought about using a spiral on that.
I love using spiral ramps because because it's coming around a couple of times and it makes a final pass around. And what it's doing is eliminating those tool marks. Sometimes you get if you have multiple steps down in a profile,
Mm-hmm.
and then you look at the side, and sometimes you'll have a little step where you can see where the step down was.
Mm-hmm.
You get maybe a little tool mark. So I use the spiral, and it's a nice smooth flow all the way down. But just
interesting.
if you use a ramp, you remember a ramp is a plunge rate. And so it's if your plunge rate is set to 8 and your feed rate is set to 120, it's going to spiral in at 8 inches per minute. So you have to go in and edit the tool path, the bit feeds and speeds independently, not in the database, but where it has that little edit button in the tool path, and then go in and edit the plunge rate, and make it the same as the feed rate.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Yeah. Okay. I will absolutely. Yeah, that's an interesting take. I'm writing that down. So you do so on the profile you use the spiral.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me explain so others can see. Okay, so I'll just get out of the pocket. And I'm going to do a profile toolpath on this rectangle here. And I just want to ramp it in. First of all, it's a cutout, so I'm going to profile outside the line. And right now it says number of passes 2. So it's going to step down 3/4 of an inch. It's going to cut around, and then it's going to do another 3/4 of an inch to cut all the way through the project. And what I'm going to do is come down to add ramps to toolpath. Now, if you're in the Vectric V-Carve and you don't see this down towards the bottom, it says ramps, leads, order, start at, and corners. Then there's a checkbox at the very top in the first thing where it says cutting depths. It says show advanced toolpath options. And you need to check that, and that will make that ramping menu show up. Select the ramp, and then select the third option, which it says spiral. And then go into edit the bit right here. So I've got the compression end mill, the 3/16 IDC Woodcraft 3/16 compression end mill, and I'm going to edit that plunge rate right here. That way it won't mess up what's in the database. It's just editing it for this particular toolpath. So I turn the plunge rate into 75, and then it will spiral in at 75 inches per minute, which is the normal feed rate.
Do you want to do a quick preview and slow that down and show them kind of what that would look like?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Great idea. So let's just reset that preview, and I'm going to turn that one off. And so you can see it's kind of a corkscrew. It's kind of coming in and around and down. So that greenish line, that should be a cyan blue, I believe. that's the plunge rate. And so that's spiraling in on this. It doesn't show up as well here. But you can see it starts right at the end of that red line, and that's a continuous cyan line that's going all the way around. And so that's what it is. And we've just changed the feed rate to the plunge rate to the feed rate for that cyan line.
Okay. I like the approach.
Yeah, and it cleans up your tool marks. That it does it in such a way that you don't get tool marks. And by the way, for those of you who use Vectric or Carbide Create, Fusion 360, or Carveco, IDC Woodcraft has a database download for you off the idcwoodcraft.com website. You go to the website, it's right up on the menu bar. And if you look in the tool database, all these router bits, when you import that, you're going to have all these bits here. And that's going to get expanded shortly as we start getting to the 1/2-inch tooling.
Okay.
And also don't forget the phone app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phone
IDC,
app's super duper handy.
yeah. We have a IDC Woodcraft phone app. It's got all your router bit feeds, specs for all the IDC Woodcraft bits. You can order your bits right through the app instead of having to go search on a computer. And so it's free on the App Store for Apple and Google Play. Just search IDC Woodcraft.
Yeah. It's very handy resource to have, if you will.
Yeah, I think IDC is the only company that's got an app out for router bits.
Yeah. It's pretty handy. I won't lie. I use it more often than not. So often I have it on both my personal phone and my work phone because it's that handy.
If you have that on your personal phone, then you can charge some of your personal phone to your business there.
Oh yeah, that's true. I
All right, we got 24 questions in the kitty here, Kate. Let's get rocking.
Oh boy. Okay. All right here. Mark Tracy, question, Kate. Is your business now focused more on custom orders, one-off items, or do you make in-stock items generally available to customers? So I did a lot of custom work. Mark, I am now kind of trying to, that's what I was talking about earlier with Garrett and all of the projects. I've been trying to only take on projects that I can teach from, use as a teaching tool. That's kind of why I was talking about that sign and using the different materials and using different like unconventional methods and how to really maximize your CNC. So that way your business isn't just limited to making certain items. So that's really where my business is right now. That's my primary focus is I've got a couple things on my plate aside from my son. I've got an epoxy course that I am working on writing, which will be really, really cool and unique. And then I've also got the Women Who CNC, the website. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes with that being taken care of. And then as well as trying to create content and keep the business alive by doing these, if you will, more unique projects, which also kind of in reflection, they have higher price tags. And so that allows me to only take on really unique specialty items that I can use also as a teaching tool, that I don't have to take on as many custom projects. I love doing custom projects. That's kind of was the heartbeat of my business, but I've also learned it also holds me back as well, because I am only doing one-off items that's very specific to someone. So, and if you've been in the custom business long enough to know, you send out quotes. Sometimes people don't respond. Some people don't even let you know yay or nay. And then you've got all this time invested on doing mock-ups and doing designs. And then you're just kind of hung out to dry, if you will. So as far as items in stock, no. I do not. I've moved away from that. I did that with a paint party business that I had that was very successful. But I just don't stock inventory anymore. It's a little challenging. So this is, I don't know if many of you know, but I started working with Garrett. I did a one-on-one with him and he said, hey, your story is kind of interesting, but can I mentor you live? And we did, 10 sessions? Mm-hmm. Basically from where I deer in the headlights, had no idea, no direction, didn't know what I was doing. And we did 10 sessions live on YouTube. They're all on Garrett's YouTube channel or on mine. And you can see me become a little lost duckling into a into a bird that is flying. So I don't know where that analogy came from, but here we are. Right. So go check those out. If you're lost and you need some guidance, you know, I'm a little bit different than Garrett. You know, he's in a very different lifespan than I am right now. I know there's a lot of women that I can relate to as well, because I've got kids. I was working full time, doing this business. It's a hustle. It's a hard way of life, but if you do it right and you have the right mentor, you too can fly.
Yeah. Jack in the shop gave it away, by the way. A little tangent here. He knows we're doing an upgrade to the IDC Woodcraft phone app because we're adding feeds and speeds for M&Ms now.
You know what? I'm pretty sure Jack could figure out a way to execute that so it could actually run through chocolate or something. Who knows?
Knowing Jack, you're right. He converted a long mill to a plasma cutter. He can figure out how to. Jack, I'm going to task you with M&M feeds and speeds for different, happy, sad, angry, pissed off. It's scrap a job, break a bit.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So I hope that answered your question a little bit. I'm sorry if I went off on a little sidebar there, but hopefully that helps you. Okay, so we have a question here from Vortex 8. Question: It is my mom's birthday tomorrow. She does not like gifts for some reason. What should I make for her? Ooh. We'll have about 3 hours for design and machining.
How about that awesome project that you made? The funniest project I've ever seen. The one with the toothpaste and the toilet paper.
Yeah, that's a pretty good sign. Oh my gosh. I don't even know where that is. I will have to take a picture and post it in my shorts with what it is. But basically it's just a sign for the bathroom. It's super cute. And I think the toothpaste says, he says, I hate my job. And then the toilet paper says, oh, really? Do you want to trade? Or something like that. It's just something kind of cute and kind of comical, but I don't know. While you're sitting there on the toilet, it's just something funny to look at.
All right. Well, hopefully some people gave him some ideas, but there you go. To the community, plug in the comments. What should Vortex 8 with the make for his mother? He's got 3 hours for design and making.
Yeah. Catch-all trays. Those are great.
Yeah, she doesn't like gifts.
It's interesting. I don't know. That's hard. All right. Yeah. Well, we'll have to circle back to that. All right. Let's see here. So we've got Alistair. Question for Kate. Why Onefinity? I can get one here, but $5,500 Woodworker X50. So like I said earlier, I really like the Onefinity just because it has the flexibility to grow as you grow your business. It's a really user-friendly interface to work with. I really like mine. It's, I've got like this thing here, the controller, everything easily connects with all of the JTech lasers if that's something you want to work with. The rigidity of the machine in general, I really, really like. I could actually run this thing. I could literally sit on top of it and drive it back and forth. And it's a really good machine. I like the fact that if you want to run the Makito or you can run a spindle with it, it can handle, if you add the extra rail, you can add a, 80 millimeter spindle. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why I like Onefinity. I've had it for going on 3 years now, and I've had zero issues with it, knock on wood, but that's why I feel like it's money well spent. There's a really great community. There's a really great support system for the Onefinity. Mm-hmm. So that's why.
All right.
All right.
All right. This is one that's probably going to be more me. Well, not really. From Greg, pretty sure I'm having grinding issues with your long mill. Machine stops midway through a job. I've had it happen without the dust shoe on. I know nothing about electrical. So this is not isolated to long mills. This happens to many CNC routers. One thing you can have is what they call EMI, or electrical interference, electromagnetic interference, where there can be a spike in the system from something on the same circuit, where either excuse me. That M&M went down the wrong way, baby.
Oh no. Yeah, get you something to drink
Okay.
there, sir.
I feel better now, but look how red my face just got. All right. Okay, so EMI, which is something that can come from a circuit, when you turn something on or something off, right? You can put a surge to the circuit, and if it's not protected, then it can spike into your thing and kind of throw off your G code. It just sends a surge through your system, and it just
Yeah.
hiccups, and it doesn't know what to do at that point.
Yeah.
So
You can definitely run I don't know if you've tried the copper wire where you can run copper wire inside of your hose. And
yeah,
then
but you
that
said it's done it with even with it's happened without that. So I'm figuring that you probably got something on the same circuit that may be kicking on and off.
Yep.
I've had it happen. I did it with a Dremel, of all things. Right. It wasn't on the long mill. I never had it happen on a long mill.
Yeah, we have. That's when we built my shop. I put on. I don't know. I feel like my husband was ready to kill me by the time we were done because I'm like, okay, all these outlets need to be like, I don't know. I don't even know how there's like. They're relatively close, but yeah, we've got a lot of different circuit breakers, and he was just like, so because it's easy. I mean, I can be running a shop vac over here where I'm sanding and doing something, and then I have the CNC running, and then got fans and other stuff going for God knows what. So, what are you giggling about?
Well, Ronnie said my feed rate was too high. That's why I gagged.
Jack, you need to calculate that in,
Yep.
choking hazards. Feed rate too high. Oh boy. All right, let's see here. We've got Darren. He says, with both of you having the long mill and Onefinity, pro con, which is your recommendation?
I like the way Mark Lindsay put it. You're talking Fords and Chevys, right? They're so pros and cons of the long mill. Price wise, it's a lesser expensive machine than the Onefinity. Let's see. The software that runs it is written by Long Mill, and the feed rate, the rapid rate of that, the software is the G-Sender control software. It's the only software out there that is actually current when it comes to the Arduino boards. So Long Mill is an Arduino based CNC. That's the circuit board that it runs on. The Onefinity is a different one. It's a rigid machine. It's structurally sound. I could stand on it. Kate can stand on hers. The differences between the two, hers is a ball screw, mine is a lead screw. But they're both good machines. Kate, what are some of the perks and cons with yours?
So my version is on the Buildbotics motors. I have a Journeyman X50. Another thing I want to upgrade this year is I want to upgrade to the Elite, which is the new Masso controllers, which definitely ups the ante of what I will be able to do when, of course, upgrade to the Pone spindle. So I really like mine just because I can literally add, subtract, take away. Let's say I moved and I needed to have a smaller space or something. I could do that. I really like that. That's, there's just a lot of things. And Jack, you are hilarious. It says the difference is Kate is 90 pounds. Kate is not 90 pounds. Okay, sir. Okay. We are talking a woman body here, but I love the sentiment of saying that I am a lightweight, but you are very sweet.
I could stand on her machines. We'll put it that way.
Yes. We could sit here and debate back and forth all night, but pros and cons. Like I said, Garrett would probably be a better judge of. He's had several different CNCs. This has been my only one. It's been the only one I've ever worked with. I knew nothing about CNC 3 years ago. I literally jumped in head first. I bought the biggest one that they had at the time and said, I'm gonna figure this out, come hell or high water, and here we are. I figured it out. So, Garrett's he used it on everything from the Bob's desktop to the long mill to the Phantom. So he's kind of got a variety. So, check out that video we mentioned earlier about the ultimate buyer's guide and what you need to look for. So there you go.
All right.
Let's jump into another one here. Garrett also tells some of the newbies out there that they should buy a digital readout caliper. I got one for $19 and it's helped me gauge my wood to be able to set my cutting depths. Absolutely.
You got to have one of these.
Great point, Dale. Thank you for sharing that.
So I guess I will share that this is what IDC is going to be coming out with very shortly. So I've gone through several pairs of calipers, sourcing them, and we found the ones that we like. And so we are going to be inventorying them very shortly. So if you're wanting to get a pair of calipers, be on the CNC Insiders list, the email list, because you will get a discount off the price when we release it. You can do that down in the description of the video.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Yeah.
So we have a question here from this old man. Hi, I'm using G-Sender and getting an alarm and machine stops if homing and hard stops are enabled in firmware. I'm going to let you take that.
I've never made note of what the error, just get angry. You need some M&Ms, man. Let's see. Open firmware and disable them. Printed Garrett's error sheet today. I'll play with it tomorrow. Yeah, if it stops when you're in a homing sequence, one of the things that can happen is if you're already on one of the sensors, although it should come off the sensor, but if it doesn't come off when you start the homing cycle and it's already sitting over the sensors, it's going to move away from the sensors and then come back in to find it. But if it doesn't move away far enough and the sensor's still detecting it, then you're going to get an error. Okay. So that's one of the things that can be happening. So when you home a machine, move it away from the sensors first and then do your homing cycle. So I just did a video that explains what limit switches do, the benefit to your machine, and how it can help you avoid starting a project that runs off the end of the machine. The machine thinks it keeps going, and it'll hit the end of hit the hard stops. Right. Mm-hmm. So I explained what limit switches are and why you sometimes want them.
Very cool. All righty. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, I'm sorry. We missed one. Let me circle back. From Glenn, I am looking for a CAM software that is not subscription-based to be used by junior high, middle school aged kids. Any suggestions? Well, should you tell him or should I?
Vectric.
Glenn, Vectric, we both are huge Vectric people.
Yeah. Of course, that's CAD CAM.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're looking for CAM only, I'm not really sure. There's some out there that's, if you're looking for non-subscription based. I haven't messed with just CAM only software.
Mm-mm.
And work, and when I used to work, we used Gibbs Cam, Master Cam, and several
Cam, though, that'd be difficult. That'd be hard for kids those age to wrap their head around.
Yeah, those ones though, they're pretty. Jack said Fusion is free.
Oh, okay. Hobby and education.
Yeah. Open builds control. But I don't know if they have a CAM software. Yeah, check that out. There's lots of stuff out there, but just CAM only, I'm not really sure. Vectric has an education version. Yeah. So, so on that note, this is kind of an industrial kind of intention to teach. Then he may be leaning into the aspect of needing CAM. So in industry, you'll have designers that design 3D model up product parts. I did that, and then we pass those parts off to the guys that work with the CAM. They'll generate the tool paths and generate the G code. It's like two separate things. So it's like taking the Vectric software, and one engineer is going to be doing the design work. The other engineer is going to be doing all the CAM work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but it's definitely commend what you're doing. Thank you for sharing that, Glenn. That's really incredible what you're doing, because I actually have one of my older sons, his best friend growing up, Hunter, actually now runs industrial CNC'ers and does all that kind of stuff because of the high school opportunities that were presented to him, learning how to use that kind of software. So kudos to you for what you're doing, because I know you are definitely making an impact and giving a lot of kids that don't necessarily want to do a college, 4-course college career. You're giving them those opportunities to show them there's all these different trades out there. So
there's good money in machining too. It's a good trade to get into.
Yeah.
Right.
Very cool.
We got a little contribution there, Kate.
Oh, Bakerville Boys. Hello, friend. Thank you for the $20 donation. That's very generous of you. He says, thank you. Have some beverages on me. Well, we will. Cheers. We will cheers you while we're having a drink. So
absolutely.
Thank you for that.
Kate's ready for a beverage, by the way.
Yes. Very much. Very much.
We'll turn that one over to Kate. Julian, that's all Kate. So she can have our half.
Oh, we don't need to do that, but
or I'll come up there and we'll do a bottle of wine together. How's that?
Yeah, that sounds fun. We have
I'll just come up there. As soon as it warms up, we'll come up, we'll have a pool party.
Yeah, we definitely need to do that. We can do the gosh darn it, what's that orchard right next to me? Pleasant View Orchard. They have some of the best wine, and now they have a restaurant and a winery. Oh my God, it's a whole thing.
Oh, so cool. All right, we got 13 and we got 30 minutes to go.
All right, let's do it. Ooh, we have a new friend, Alicia Kegley Pate. Hello, guys. Alicia Pate, and new in the CNC space, jumping over from lasers. Yay, welcome. Welcome, Alicia. We love having you. Fantastic. I love seeing people come over from lasers. I feel like lasers are everybody's, go-to, but CNCs are so fun. You don't know what you're missing. All right. So we have John has a question for us. He has a Shapeoko Pro XXL, had it for 6 months, and I'm on my 3rd router. 25 projects, looking to upgrade to a spindle. Is there one that is better than the other? Seen them from 300 to 800.
Well, I've had one spindle, and it's the PWN unit right there.
Yep.
And I upgraded to from the after my Makita burnt out, and so this baby is it's like Mark said a few weeks ago. Once you go spindle, you never go back. So this came from the PWN CNC. Julianne put a link in there. PWN CNC has a plug and play kit. Right. Basically, they've got the adapter. You plug that in. It's set up for your control. They've got it for the Shapeoko. So you can get that, and they charge about $800 for that entire kit. But it's basically out of the box, and plug it in and mount the spindle up.
Yeah.
Right. As far as other spindles, I can't tell you. Kate, you had a spindle, but you were having a little bit of an issue with it.
Yeah. So my husband was trying to surprise me for Christmas. He bought a I don't know if it was Chinese spindle. It turns out after we figured out what was going on with the spindle, it was actually a lesser power spindle than my Makita, because I was running it and I'm like, I was converting the hertz, I was doing all the things, and it just was not doing very well. But I do know I've seen some people use I don't know, it's Japanese or Chinese. I can't remember the company, but it's Hoyang or something like Huyang or something like that. I've seen them. But again, like we've been kind of preaching all evening, you need the support if you have issues with something. And I've tried several times to reach out to this Chinese company that made this spindle. No, won't work. I think I even sent you a video. It was basically when you turn it on, you know how normally the spindle will just kind of gear up. Well, I literally had to grab the nut of it and like spin it like I was starting a weed eater or something. Yeah, like starting my lawnmower and like giving it a pull start. And then I don't know. So I tried emailing them and they were like, nothing, crickets. So I finally just said, screw it, I'm done.
I've heard a couple of stories about that same deal.
Yeah.
So at least PWN is coming out of the States. You're paying a little bit more, but you're paying for the plug and play ability. And you also got a company that can support you.
Absolutely. Like my husband can engineer about anything together, electrical, you name it. And this one gave him a little bit of a run for his money. So
you'll be happy you switched to spindles. You really will. I have the water cooled spindle. I have the 80 millimeter, which that was my accident. I wanted to get the 65, but I've been farting around with it. That's nice and quiet. It's working.
All right, let's see what we've got here. So we've got Eric has a question for us. Can you copy a toolpath to a new sheet that it retains all the settings, or do you have to start fresh each time?
That's an interesting question.
That is a really good question, Eric. I
want to create a sheet and find out.
Yeah, I don't know.
I need to do a video on sheets.
I was messing with them today, actually, on my.
Yeah, sheets are awesome.
On my project.
But sheets is something you'll find in the VCarve Pro software. I think you'll find it in the Cut 2D Pro, and you'll find it in Aspire, but it's not in the desktop versions.
I'm looking at mine too. It looks like you can duplicate a toolpath, but as far as putting it on a different sheet, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's not showing. I can't see it where you can transfer it over to another sheet. Curious what Mark had to say on that one.
Mark is incredible.
838. I want to know.
I know. That's an excellent question, Eric. Because that would be kind of handy if.
That would probably be handy.
Yeah. We could probably email Becky over at Vectric and see if she has an answer for that. If not, as Mark always suggests, leave them a comment.
Yeah.
And let them know, hey, this is something that would be useful to us. And if you can make that happen. By the way, I know most of you are regulars on here that are commenting, but I noticed we have several new people. If you are not familiar with Mark Lindsay, he is, as you can tell, one of the very few gurus that has been around for a long, long time with the CNC and Vectric software, has a fantastic channel. Here we go. This is what his YouTube channel looks like. Save the toolpath as a toolpath template, switch to the other sheet, then import that toolpath template to that sheet.
Oh.
I never thought about saving it as a template, but that's a really good.
This is why every time Mark shows up, I just bow down.
I know,
right? the guru.
He's probably going, stop it.
Yeah.
We see you, we know, but we're here and you're not, so we can brag on you. So,
okay.
How's that?
Donation here, Kate.
All right. Oh, Jerry, he's always so generous with us. Jerry Carp, $20, a small token of appreciation for your time and knowledge. Well, that's awesome.
Jerry's a regular contributor. He does this every week.
Yeah, he's very, very generous. Jerry, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very, very much.
Yes, that's very sweet. I'm going to pop this in real quick. This is Mark says, I'm no guru. I'm just a guy who has made more mistakes than you have. See, he's so humble.
You know
He's so
what?
humble. Y'all, he's an awesome human being.
What a good way of putting it. Because, I mean, it's mistakes. We learn from our mistakes. Adversity is what teaches us, what truly teaches us.
Boy, you're preaching that.
Question from Dennis. Any experience with using a composite nailer to hold project as spoil board? I have not had experience, but I've heard plenty of people have, and they like it. The nailer is relatively expensive, from what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But Julianne, make a note of these composite nail things, and we'll take a look at it, see what they cost. It'd be a good thing to get, check out, maybe do a video on to see how these things work. By the way,
actually, I have one.
you do?
Yeah.
You should have jumped in and said, Garrett, shut up. I got one right here.
No, it's in our garage. We have one. I've never used, I've used it, but I've never thought about integrating it with stuff for my CNC. I normally just use like my brad nailer.
Yeah. So, for those who don't know, composite nailer. So there's multiple ways you can hold your project down to your CNC. Mm-hmm. And you can clamp, you can use CA glue, you use vacuum table, you can screw or nail it down. And a composite nailer, the nails are like nylon or something like that. Mm-hmm. And so if your router bit runs into it, it just cuts right through it and it doesn't hurt the router bit.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. For those of you, Julianne, I'm going to bring you out to say hello. And are you ready? Nod your head. Yep. She's not nodding her head.
I guess so.
Yeah. So for those of you who've been on board, Julianne has been in the background, making sure our questions are taken care of and brought to our attention, and popping comments out when she sees not irrelevant to what we're talking about. So thanks, Julianne. Everybody give Julianne a little love. Liberty is not here tonight. She usually jumps on board, but she's got other stuff to do tonight. So Liberty is the shipping girl. All right, for IDC. All right, let's get on to the next one.
All right. So we have Marilyn here. Hi, Marilyn. Can you tell me a tool path to cut a chamfer angle on an inside edge of a catch-all tray? So I'm not able to use a bowl bit because I want it angled. Okay.
Drive rails.
Did you just say drive rails?
Drive rails with a tapered bit. Maybe.
You're gonna have to run the drive rails thing by me. A tool path.
Drive rails is a way to get contours.
Okay.
Mark Lindsay. Okay. Sorry, Mark. We're going to promote one of your videos. I don't remember what it is, but you're going to need to put it in the comments. Mark Lindsay did a video on how to do a tapered hole. And so that video would apply to this. Because you can take the same taper concept and turn it into, move it out into a bowl shape.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's the best way I can answer, because right off the head, it just, I think it would be done with drive rails. Drive rails are getting a little more advanced. It's a molding tool path. That's the molding tool path.
Okay. That's not something there's so much dang stuff in Vectric.
I know.
I love this, but I will tell you that is my one frustration as a teacher is there are so many things that CNCs can do. It's like I'm just not there in my knowledge yet, and I just love hearing about all these cool things. But what if I'm trying to think as far as where did my question go? Hang on, I want to pop that back out. Chamfer angle. I'm just trying to think if there would be another. Yeah. Like a taper. I think what you're saying is pretty close as far as doing that. Okay, I'm gonna have to think about this, Marilyn. Now you got my brain spinning. I like to think of all the different things.
We'll definitely have to work on this. All right, Kate, we got 3 donations that have been.
Oh boy. All right. Eric, thank you, my friend. $20. Haha, more money for the M&Ms. Of course.
Yeah, I just ate all the profits and then coughed them up. It's like
I love it.
Yeah. Thank you, Eric. Thank you very much.
That's very nice of you.
It's nice. This is your guys' way of just saying thank you, and we appreciate it. Yeah, it doesn't have to be done because we're here anyway, but it gets us out to dinner, which we all owe a 4-way dinner now. Kate, the girls.
Yeah. Billy McGee, $20. Thank you for you guys all, or thank you guys for all you do, if I can read appropriately. But yes, Billy, we love showing up for you guys, and we get to have fun with you too, and talk about M&M Halloween costumes and how we're gonna, the IDC team is gonna be just a whole slew of M&Ms. We're just gonna have a big old Halloween party of M&Ms.
Hey, maybe we can do one of those partnerships with IDC and M&Ms. Get a brighter bit in every bag of M&Ms.
Oh my gosh. You know what would be really fun is we should have like a Halloween party down at the IDC Woodcraft. We'll have like a big old bonfire or something, and where you have to bring something M&M focused.
Oh yeah.
To the party.
Yeah, it's like Christmas. You have to put, or St. Patty's Day. You have to wear something green.
Yeah, you got to wear something M&M colored.
Yeah, it was something M&M.
Oh my gosh. All right. So we've got the yard sale. I've been away for the last 2 weeks. Got here late tonight, but always enjoy the conversations. Garrett, stay strong. Keep the faith. I love it. That's very nice. That is very nice.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Thank you.
Very good. All right.
Yeah. We're thinking about coming out with ball caps, IDC ball caps. Put in the comments if we should do that.
Yeah, that'd be very cool.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you for all the gifts, the generous donations.
Yes, very much so. All right. So we have a question here from Johnny King. Question: using my Fox Alien, I was told if the bit chatters to slow down. What if it is just screaming in the wood?
Yeah. So this is a multifaceted answer. Number one, if you're getting chatter, it can be because number one, the bit's hanging out too far, right? And you're just getting deflection in the bit. Number two, it can be rigidity in the machine. Yes, you can slow it down. Slowing it down doesn't always eliminate chatter, but it does reduce the possibility of it. The problem with slowing a bit down is you start coming under the recommended feed rate, and then you can start wearing down your bit because now it's not just cutting, it's starting to rub. And if it's screaming, different geometries of bits are going to make different noises. It's like the hog router bit. It makes a lot of noise.
Yeah,
it's making a lot of noise because it's chewing away at stuff. It's got a lot of surfaces that are coming in and doing the cutting.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming if you're slowing it down and starting to scream, if that's happening, you may be starting to rub.
That's kind of what I was thinking as far as...
Which means your feed rate's coming down too low.
Mm-hmm.
Reduce your depth of cut. Insert your router bit higher into the collet and reduce your depth of cut. That's putting less work on the router bit. I don't know if you've ever ordered from IDC Woodcraft, you would get one of these as a new cut. The first time orders gets this. This tells you how to chuck up your router bits.
Yeah.
And following this will eliminate some of that stuff as long as you're setting up your feed and speeds. This is a chucking chart. How to chuck up your bits and how not to chuck them up. Yeah,
that's really important because if you're not checking your bits properly, you really don't want to find out at 20,000 RPMs or whatever you're running your bits at that it comes flying out of there, or it breaks off in your material, and then it's a whole mess. So really take the time to educate yourself about how to chuck bits. Also, I think that's going to be your biggest thing when you said reducing the depth of cut with the Fox Alien, because you said as it's the desktop machine, especially if you're running in hardwoods, like Garrett said, the machine just may not be rigid enough. So I would definitely reduce your depth of cut. Now, like ash, I've had a really hard time cutting ash. It kind of caught my router on fire, so which was not good. And I'm pretty sure it was the same piece of wood that destroyed Garrett's router. He's like, oh no, we can get it to work. And I'm like, okay. And then he sent me a picture later with his router smoking.
Okay. He is using the chucking guide, so that's cool.
Good.
The hog is what's screaming the most. And increase the speed a little. Yeah. So the hog is just a bit. It makes a lot of noise. It screams.
It does, and a lot of people are afraid of it. I've heard that a lot. Don't be afraid of it. That's just if you really are afraid of it, reduce the depth of cut. You don't have to go in at a full 3/4 inch. It's like anything with CNCing. You've got a material. Are you working with hardwoods? Your depth of cut. Are you working with a softwood? You can go in a steeper deep of cut. I mean, it's a little bit of a balancing act. So, but just be aware. Yes, I have the beast, the badger, and the hog. I'm sorry. Yeah, the beast, the badger, and the hog. They all have 3 different names. Sorry. And they do. I tell my ladies that all the time. Don't be afraid of them. They do. They are a noisy bit, but that's just what happens. So.
All right. We got 8 questions, 10 minutes to go.
All right. We have heirloom game calls. What is the best advice concerning Mach 3?
We don't use that. I don't use Mach 3. I know Mark Lindsay does, so I think he's got some videos on that. So
yep.
Unfortunately, Mach 3 is a control software. It controls your router. Yep. I don't use that. I use GSender.
No. All right. Well, let's see what we've got here. Shadow People. I'm a programmer drafter. Just started my training on a new double header 60 by 120 table size. I believe it's a Spire that I will be working with. Any tips for a newbie?
Whew. No boy, newbie getting onto a bad boy like that. Whoo. That's like buying a Ferrari as soon as you get your driver's license, baby.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah. Okay, so we haven't mentioned, if you are not familiar with Kyle Eli, he has a fabulous course. It is a step-by-step course. It goes from everything from using the desktop version of VCarve all the way into Aspire. He has advanced rotary. He has all the things. So if you are interested in buying his software, you get lifetime access. There's a community that comes along with it. He does live trainings every Tuesday and Thursday at like noon. He's an incredible teacher. He has a YouTube channel if you want to kind of get a little bit of a taste of what his how he teaches. He's fantastic. We've had him on here a couple of times. So if you want to go back and look for the episodes that have Kyle Eli, I mean, he's an incredible teacher, and he has a plethora of knowledge. So if you're going to be running a machine of that girth, I would highly encourage you to start with his course, start from the beginning, invest in your education, and go from there, because that is not a machine you want to screw up.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So Kyle Ely, he has like Kate said, Vectric training course. It's the only Vectric training course out there that like takes you from the beginning all the way through. Learn your CNC. In the description of the video are links on both Kate channels and my channel. So you can click that link and get it in his course. This is a case, like Kate said, this is a case where you definitely want to get in a professional course. Absolutely. Don't play around with it. Software is not, a lot of people like to just, I'll figure it out. In your case, you're doing this professionally, get professional education. Period. Yeah.
100%. And Kyle does one-on-ones too. I mean, they're a little more expensive, but they're definitely worth it. This is from JT. Precision is my middle name. I just gave $10 for Lucas. Thank you, JT. I love that. Thank you. He will love that. He normally watches the lives. So I'm sure he will see that and be more than happy. And he's going to be saying, I get to go get some mint ice cream. So
Lucas was brought up. Very cool. Thank you.
He will love that. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, wait a minute.
Did we already say John's? I feel like we might have. Thank you for having this channel and spreading your knowledge. John Stacy for $20. Thank you, John.
Absolutely. Thank you, John.
Yeah, that's very cool. We really appreciate all of the monetary donations that you guys make. They're very heartfelt, and we appreciate you all so much for that. Thank you. All right. So I think we get to wrap up the evening with a couple fun comments here. So Mr. Jack in the shop is saying, Garrett, how many M&Ms can you eat before the long mill will not carry you anymore? That's a lot of M&Ms.
We'll have to test that one.
God, let's not make this one of those episodes. Like that guy did with McDonald's. He's like, how much weight can I eat? How much weight can I put on if I eat McDonald's for a month? I'm like,
how many hot dogs can I eat in a day or in an hour or 10 minutes?
Oh my God.
Oh, good Lord.
I'm going to throw out the old motherly rule. Don't eat too much of that because it will give you a stomach ache.
Right. It's like watching TV, I'll go blind, right?
Right. Yes. Don't make that face. It'll get stuck that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I used to tell my kids when they were little. So Eric is saying, at IDC Woodcraft, could you ever grow Mark's mustache?
I could not raise myself up enough to grow such a majestic mustache as Mark's.
Ooh, it is majestic. It's very
yes. I mean, you're like asking a pauper to become a king, right? I just can't do that, dude. Mark is high on the throne, dude.
He is the mustache.
Yeah.
So I love that. That is awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah. And wait a minute.
Let's see. I was trying to look. I saw something around a rotary. Oh, okay. Here we go. So Marcus says, all you have to do is stop trimming it for like 20 years.
There you go.
Oh boy. Oh boy. All right. Oh, I love this, Ronnie. This is a perfect way to end the evening here. Ronnie, the mustache of knowledge. Yes.
The mustache of knowledge. Julianne, we're going to bring you back out, sister. She's been in the background there. The mustache of knowledge. We're going to have to remember that one.
I'm writing it down.
Indeed.
Yes.
Do that.
Yes.
I'm almost at a room on my page here.
Yeah, let's carve Mark a Christmas present.
Oh my
mustache of knowledge.
Perfect.
I love it.
I do have a question to pose for the people still here. Now, we have yes to the hats, but what kind of ball cap hats? We have some people saying mesh. We have, I know I have a preference. I hate the mesh ones.
No, I hate the mesh ones too. No.
So,
I hate the ones that have that little hard part that goes like straight up and then goes back. I won't do that either. It's got to be a nice rounded over.
Those are
tell me what kind of hat you want, you guys.
Those are called the trucker hats. And I had a couple hats made, but I won't lie because I'm a lady. I could wear hats. Okay. Like I'm a girl who can wear a hat. I do not like the trucker hats for women. They are and I feel like in all these companies that make these really cool patches and stuff, all they carry is the darn trucker hats. And I'm like,
see, I turn mine backwards sometimes and I, stick my sunglasses on. I don't want anything that's like making my head sweat with the plastic or any,
Yeah. Yep. Mike says trucker hats have the mesh. I don't like them. Yeah. So I think maybe like what they call a performance hat. Yeah. So the Flex Fit is what's called a performance hat. They're a little more expensive, but They definitely are worth it, but I think you have to know your size for the flex fits. They have like different sizes.
So
a
so
visor.
if I have a big head, I have to order a big hat, right?
Yeah. So Marilyn, I don't know if you're for the women who CNC, but over on our website, we actually have visors for sale that you can buy. They're printed for women, and it says women who CNC on it, and there's like 3 or 4 different colors that you can choose from.
Peter Lawrence, yes, we do.
Yes, we do what?
Yeah, we do send overseas.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we sent to the Netherlands, and we always send to Canada and Australia.
Yeah, we've sold. Yeah, Sweden. We've gone sent to Germany. We've gone mostly the European Union countries. Haven't sent to Russia yet. Sent to South Africa. Have sent some of the countries in South America.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, some of the people are saying, as far as the hats, dad hats. Mark said the dad hat is kind of what everybody like, just your traditional ball cap. So, oh my gosh, I think there is somebody said,
another one.
Cowboy hats. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, Jim Hambone, $20. Lucas, the $6 million kid.
There you go.
Yes, Jim, I feel like he is going to be a $6 million kid when this thing is done. Yes. Yes. Yeah. We looked at that was one of the things that one of the specialists was talking to us about. Just as a quick side note, they were talking about a brace that he may have to wear after all of this is done. And he was like, "Can I look like Iron Man?" I was like, "Oh God,
that would be cool. At least make it worthwhile for the kid."
Yeah.
I mean, it's got like this big like box thing on the front of it that I don't know. It looks a little intimidating to me, but I was just like, they said maybe like 2 years, and I'm like, he's gonna have this thing like my daughter's gonna be like bedazzling him, and it's just gonna be hot mess
painting.
Well, thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jim, for the donation.
Yeah.
Well, now we're getting bling matters. Yes, it does.
Bling matters. Yes, it does. People don't like it when they don't get the coffee mugs when they should.
Yeah.
And we have to send them out.
By the way, my IDC Woodcraft cup has been hijacked by Lucas. Side note, yes.
Okay. Oh dear. We'll have to take care of that.
Send her another one. Yeah, we're coming out with we're talking about some more bling that I think everybody is going to like.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kate, you haven't told me yet, but I think I've talked to you about that before.
The bling?
Ain't gonna say what it is. It's man bling.
Oh,
not really. No, I take that back. It's not really man bling. It's CNC bling.
Okay. All right. We can roll with CNC bling.
Yeah, man bling. I gotta be careful with that kind of word. It just doesn't come off the tongue right.
Gets into some interesting territory there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Oh, so I see a couple of people. They said, with a leather strap on the back, not a snapback, and no mesh, no flat bill.
I'll put that in my notes.
Yeah.
Julianne is tallying all this up because the votes, the what's the word? The ruling parties win.
Yeah. Or this is kind of cool. You can offer Mark says you can offer embroidered patches and let folks sew them on their hat of their choice. And then someone said, or even a heat press patch.
You know what? I think we should send a wooden hat, and they can all just carve in their own the logo.
There you go. There are some pretty cool companies out there that do a lot of really neat hats, but like I said earlier, the kind of sucky thing about that is they only offer like so many different styles of hats, and they're usually like the more trucker hat, that pointed thing. But I think this is hilarious. Dan, he said with a 3D printer, yes, he can look like Iron Man.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
He would be the kid to figure it out.
Yeah.
So
sure.
yeah,
Yep.
we're gonna
Someone
have to
said
figure
no
out something,
patch on the
something
hat.
for him to do.
Yep. Someone said no patch on the hat. I promise you, no patch on the hat.
Ooh,
It'll be
brass
full blown
buckle on the
embroidered.
back.
We'll use the CNC to stitch it in.
We're getting fancy, you guys.
Yeah.
I know. Oh, Mark says I have a wife with a sewing machine and she's not afraid to use it.
Uh-oh.
There you go. Flat bill's easy to fix. Yep. I can't remember what we used to use. It was like a football. We would take a football and some rubber bands and we would like rubber band it so it would like mold the shape of the hat. You guys remember that?
Oh my goodness.
That was like serious, because you got to get the bill curvature like just right, because if you have
Oh,
glasses, like you don't want it to be like,
Bend it myself.
Yeah, no, man, you got to get like by the way, best way to wash your hats, top rack of the dishwasher. You're welcome.
What if you don't have a dishwasher?
Pinocchio would be proud of me if we did the wooden hat.
That's an interesting thought. Yeah, the wooden hat. Now that'd definitely be a two-sided carve. You'd be using your big ball bits here.
Right.
Oh
All right.
my
Well,
gosh.
folks, it's about time
All
for
right.
us to check out. I
Yes.
hope everybody has had a nice evening. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for the donations, contributions, and give
Thank you.
Julianne some love because she always sits there in the background just taking care of things. And
Yes. And thank
next
you
week,
for
go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and thank you for all of the love for me and the prayers and the good vibes and all the good stuff. I really appreciate that. And thank you for all of the love for Lucas. I know he's probably sitting there soaking it up, thinking he's gotten all these people just loving on him. So thank you all for showing him that tonight, and that there are good people out in the world. And that,
Well, here you go. Put in the comments right now for Lucas. Give him some stuff. Make it feel like, the guy's on center stage.
Oh man.
Check out.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I will say this. I hope you all have a beautiful evening, and I may or may not see you next week, but if not, notice I am thinking of you, and hopefully you guys will, have some good stuff next week if I don't see you.
Yeah. And remember, I'm going to the Workbench Con, so I don't want to show up there, but I'll show up for the live.
All right.
Okay. And it just by chance, if the live doesn't take place, then that's because things didn't work out in the travels.
Gotcha.
We'll see.
All right.
Good night,
See
everybody.
You guys. Night.